Hi folks, so this question here is from the 2025 mock based on the topic of axonometric projection. So it was question, I think it was 4E, or else it was 3E. So it says here, the axonometric axes required for the isometric projection of a similar birdhouse are shown. It was part E of a question that was on kind of a bird feeder or a birdhouse. The elevation, end view and incomplete axonometric projection of the birdhouse is given. So we've been given the elevation and the end elevation, as they call it in end view here. A 3D graphic of the house is also shown down here. Complete the axonometric projection of the birdhouse. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to do the axonometric, or what does the object look like in 3D? And they kind of give you the hint here. This is what it's going to look like. So what we need to determine first of all though is the directions and the faces we see. So imagine now we're doing orthographic projection. What view would that be when we see the front of the house? That's the elevation. And then the end elevation would be the side view, or as they call it up here, an end view. I call it an end elevation. I'm just going to, for the purpose of the video, I'll put in end view because that's what they've gone. So in the end view, I see the side of the house and I can see a bit of the roof. So that's what we see over here. This is obviously the end view. There's the square for the side of the house, and then there's the roof. And there's the elevation where we see the circular opening. There's the front face with the roof structure. So what they've asked us to do is complete the isometric projection of it. Okay. So what we need to know is that in the elevation, end elevation over here, we're going to bring it together to make the 3D axonometric view, called an isometric. Okay, sometimes called an axonometric as well. Now, to do that, all the lines will just project down at 30 degrees. So it's quite easy. Now, what we need to recognize is, where is the front face? So this is the front face here, which I see there. So if I wanted to label that with letters, let's say I was going down here and I was to label it with letters. Nice and quick, okay? So let's say I called this point here A, then this point here at the ridge B, C, D, and E. So A, B, C, D, and E. So how do I find those on my object? So if I come back up here and we were to label those now. So A is at the bottom left, so there's A. There's B, there's C, D, and E. Now I want to find them over here, and this is what will catch students. So imagine now we're looking in the end view. Well, there's the left hand side and there's the right hand side, and I can see clearly A is at the right. So that means if I look over here at the side view of it here, that's A. What's above A is B. What's above B is C. B and D, because D is at the back behind B, so it's D is in this position, and behind A is E. So let's start building that front face. So A and E, you'll actually see, if you use your 30-degree set square, they're already coming down together. There we go. A and E has come down. B and D has come down only as far as there, so what do I need to do? I need to extend it on. And I also need to bring down C. So all down just at an angle of 30 degrees. Now I need to bring them down here. A has come down, E has come down. I need to bring B down. And I need to bring D down. And it's there. And finally C. This is what will catch out a lot of students. So now I need to find where they intersect. So look, A and A is right here. B and B, if I follow it down, B is there and B is here. So there's B. And now I want to find C. C is at the top. So there's C. And finally D and D. And then E and E is here. So there's my front face. Just going to use a marker now to heavy it in a little bit better so we can see it a little bit clearer on our sheet. So A up to B is a vertical line. It'll actually appear vertical. There it is. D and E is a vertical line. Got the line at the bottom was already given to us. And now I know B connects up to C. And C connects down to D. So there's the front face. Now I need to make the back face, which is the exact same shape. Okay, so these have already come down because they're all going to be coming from the back as well. But here's the back points. So what do I do with those? I need to bring them down. So this one has already come down. I need to bring this one down as well. And I need to bring the top one down. And there's my points. I've now found a point here, because that's where the back edge comes down. Then the next edge is going to be here. And the top of the roof is going to be here. And there we go. So it's a case now, what do I heavy in? This guy this guy, this one, this one, and we'll go down there, this one, and then I've got the point here. This is what will catch out students. Don't forget the ridge at the back of the roof, and then we go. So I can see all of that, and that's my structure. And you can see it's very similar to what we have down here. Now I have to get the circular curve in the front of it, okay, or the opening. Okay, now recognize where the opening is. It's on the front face. This is my front face here in the elevation. This is the front face over here on the end view or the end elevation. So I need to break up the curve, okay, to find points. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up using heights. Okay, so over here I'm going to go from B to D, just going to do a line like that, because that's going to give me kind of my little section there. And we can see that, look, here at the top there's a smaller gap, whereas down here there's a slightly bigger gap. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do a little bit of sliding set squares. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a line from here, so parallel to the bottom, a bit of sliding set squares there, go to the bottom of the circle and do a line across. Okay, and I'm going to go to the top of the circle and also do a line across. And this is going to help me do heights in a minute. Now from the middle, I'm just going to check the radius. It looks like it's about 21 mil. But from the middle, I'm going to now measure down in increments of, if it's 21 mil in radius, I'm going to measure down in increments of 7, 3 7s. So from here, from the center down, I'm going to go 7 millimeters. That's just the measurement I'm choosing. 7 plus 7 is 14. And I'm also going to do the same going upwards. Okay, so I'm going to go 7 up, and then another 7 up. And using sliding set squares again, I'm going to break up my curve. So I'm going to go horizontally across like this, and this, this, and this. And what it's going to help me locate is a series of points. So I'm going to label them. 12 at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, think of it like a clock, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I've found all the points on this face. Now I need to find all those points over here. So how do I do that? Now what I'm going to do, okay, is you can see from here it goes 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. I just need the height up from the base, from A up first of all. So you could use your compass. Find my compass here. Apologies. You can use your compass and take the distance from A and mark it up. Make sure it's the accurate distance. Take that height there, from A to there, and come over here and mark it up. Now what is helpful about that is that height there is on the 6. So that's where 6 is. Now, if I measure up 7 millimeters in height, that's going to be where 7 and 5 are. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure up in increments of 7, 5 times. 7, 7. I just keep repeating the sequence. So I did 7s. And I think I have one more. There we go. So there's all my 7s. And look at the next height up, I've got 7 and 5. Next height up, I have 8 and 4. Next height up is 9 and 3. Then I've got 10 and 2, 11 and 1, and 12 at the top. So now, to be able to complete it, all I need to do is project all those down. And this is where it can get a little bit tricky, and I go one by one. So if I bring 6 down, and then I go down from here at 30 degrees and I bring the other 6 down, I've now found 6. Now I want to do the other points. 7 will come down, 5 will come down. Now I want to bring down 7 and 5 from this one. Sorry there now. So I bring those down, there and there. Now I'm going to go on to 8 and 4. 8 and 4 comes down. Go down here, 8 and 4. And just make sure you get them on the correct lines. Next one is 9 and 3. So 9 and 3 will come down. And this is the skills in the question where a big chunk of marks go towards it. So 9 and 3, so there's 3 as it comes down, and 9 there. Okay, next one down is 10 and 2, almost done. Now I have to bring down 10 and 2. I can always tell where to stop then. There's 10, there's 2, and then I'm going to bring down 11 and 1, and we're nearly there. 11 and 1 come down. There's 1. Yep. Need to make sure I'm on the right one for 11 now. Yep. There. And finally 12. 12 will come down. 12 is in the middle. And there we go. So there's my points. What do I do then? I freehand sketch in the curve. So take quadrant by quadrant. You're trying to make sure that it flows smoothly. And there we go. There's our curve. Now I'm going to heavy it in. Now obviously on the day of a test, guys, you're using your pencils. Just for demonstration, I'm using the marker. And there we go. So there you have it, folks. That there was the axonometric question completed from this year's perspective. Hope you found that helpful.